I'm pleased to be joined, of course, Latino in Sport. Thank you for inviting me to do this. It's always a pleasure to be a part of this important organization, and an honor to be speaking with Mariano Rivera. If you're not familiar with CNBC Sport, we do a newsletter every week. It is free. Please sign up. We also do a weekly video podcast. This will be a part of that video podcast series. We've been on a nice little run of GOATs, greatest of all time, just in the past 6 weeks or so. We've spoken to, I talked to Tom Brady, I talked to Lindsey Vonn, I talked to Landon Donovan, and now, of course, the greatest closer of all time, Mariano Rivera. So I want to do this in 3 parts with you.
Go ahead.
I want to start with some baseball questions, then get into your life, the progression of your life, and then at the end talk a little bit about some of your business ventures and sort of post-retirement play. So let's start here. First of all, how much baseball do you watch these days?
Let me see. 1%.
1%.
That's the Yankees.
Yeah.
That's the Yankees. So, think about it. I barely have time to sit down and watch the news. And when I watch the news, I fall asleep.
Yeah.
So, but I watch the Yankees, definitely.
So, I'm going to come out hot here. I grew up an Oakland A's fan, and there was a struggle as an A's fan, which was I would see this team develop players like Jason Giambi and Johnny Damon and Nick Swisher, and then they would all go to the Yankees, who could pay them more money and did. And it struck me as a fan of saying, this system doesn't seem that equitable to all fandoms here. And here we are now on the precipice of Major League Baseball doing another collective bargaining agreement where the key issue at play is going to be, should there be a salary cap or a salary floor and a salary cap in this league? So I ask you, should there be a salary cap in Major League Baseball?
Let me put my hat off the representation of the Major League Baseball group, okay? And I will say, yes, it should be one. Because it has to be fair to everybody. But again, though, with that, I have to say this, that before the salary cap, there were these tax where all the things that the New York Yankees were paying to the Miami Marlins.
Revenue sharing, that's right. Which still happens.
To make the team better, but I don't know what happens. I don't know what's going on with that. All right, so those are my things. Those are my issues that I have when it comes to that. Yes, I would say yes, because made the competition better. But at the same time, if I'm giving you money from my pocket to you, Alex, for make the team better, I believe that you should do that and not pocket it. All right, so if that would be the case, then definitely should be a salary cap.
You struck me always as sort of a player that embraced Major League Baseball tradition. You wore Jackie Robinson's number. When Bob Shepard, the famed Yankees announcer, passed away, you kept his voice to announce you. There have been quite a few changes to Major League Baseball since you retired. The pitch clock, the shift going away. Most recently, this sort of automatic balls and strikes challenge system, the ghost runner. Have you liked all of these changes?
Ghost runner, I don't like. The clock, I do love. Okay. The machine, all these things, the one thing that I love above all those things was the clock thing. Why? Because, me as a closer, I wanted to finish this game quick. And the players always taking time, so they don't allow me to do my thing. All right. But the other stuff, that's not baseball. I don't know how the people will see it, but I don't see it like a baseball. Soon enough, we'll be playing with machines there. You're taking the human factor out of the game. It's kind of a little difficult, and different. So I'm glad that I play when I play and not now.
Another thing that has changed, and I imagine you may think similarly, I literally just saw this stat this morning, which is that in 1998, 38% of starting pitchers pitched 7 innings or more. That number this year is 9%. Is that good for the game?
Man, you're really coming out firing.
I told you I was going to come out hot.
Just hot.
This is a short program. You guys want a network. I don't have a lot of time to waste.
Alex, this thing is getting worse and worse, okay? Because I don't think you're going to see that ever again, period. The game has evolutionized in such a way that is going. I don't know if you can say that's good for the game or not. Because you ain't gonna see no more a perfect game. You ain't gonna see for sure. You're not gonna see no 9 innings, a guy full. Complete game. You ain't gonna see those statistics no more. So how you going to determine how players are, how good the player can be if the starter's going 5 innings and that's it? I don't understand that. But again, that's the game that we accustomed to see now. They will want to play now. Well, if the players are willing to do that, this type of players now, well, welcome. If they find with that, who am I to say not? Like I said, that's why I'm glad that I play when I play. That we were accustomed to see all the Pedro Martinez and all those guys going 9 innings, and throwing 120 pitches. You ain't gonna see that no more.
Let's talk about your life, because you have a really interesting, unique life. For those that don't know, Mariano grew up in Panama. By the way, I don't even know if of all of Mike's honors, I'm not even sure he mentioned when he was talking about you coming up on stage here. You're also the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award winner in 2019. And I was going back and looking at President Trump's introduction to you, and he mentions how you grew up, having a glove as a cardboard box for a glove, and like a stick for a bat. And making a ball out of rock and twine. And so, whatever you think, politics aside, I think we can all agree that sometimes President Trump tends to exaggerate a little bit. But in this case, I don't think he was exaggerating, correct?
He wasn't sorry at all.
Yeah. And so how do you go from playing with your friends in this format to getting a tryout with the Yankees? So, walk me through that.
Well, first of all, yes, you're right. He was right. My glove was cardboard. All right, I didn't have money. My parents didn't have money to buy me a real glove. Now, our kids can have 5, 6 gloves. They kicking the glove away from them. Baseball where it was no rocks. All right, Alex, it was no rocks. It were those little jacks balls that the girls play, and those. Some girls will lose those balls. All right. So, and then the bats were just you climb a tree and you find the straightest branches that you can find. That's what are bats. But we never stopped playing the game the way we play. So those things were amazing. But that to me, it was a privilege to do that. Because again, if I had to do it all over again, I would do it the same way. Because that made me better. That made me enjoy and appreciate what I had later, in my career. Become a tryout. Okay, my shoes were ripped. My toe was hanging out. And I was in the outfield at the time.
Right. So you were not a pitcher.
I was not a pitcher. I hated it to pitch. Because, when you pitch and you sit. You pitch and you sit. I don't want to sit down. I wanted to be in the field. I wanted to be hitting, running, doing all that stuff. And at this point, I was on the right field, and we have our best pitcher that we thought he will be enough to go the 9th inning, and he wasn't. And then we had no more pitchers. We got there in the mound, and we asked who's going to pitch. And then I said, I do it, And 2 weeks after that, the catcher and the center field for the team got me a tryout with the New York Yankees. I went for a week. I was the fill-in.
So so they did this because they saw unique talent in that 2-week time period.
And that game, not that 2-week frame.
Okay, one game.
Game.
Okay.
Yes, and then after that, the scout saw me doing pitching and doing all
And
that
so
stuff.
is this common that scouts are constantly coming down to Panama? Were
Yeah.
all of the team scouts doing this?
That's
or was
common. That's common.
It's common, yeah.
Or at least back then.
So it just happened to be that the Yankees were that weak.
No, the Yankees were there. My guys found me that, so the guy was doing it while they were coming to see another two guys. I was just to fill in case. They don't have enough players. Well, they gave me opportunity, and because I was the fill in.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is where you're going to have to explain this to me.
Okay, go ahead.
Because you didn't pitch. You pitched one game. The Yankees saw you and signed you. And I looked at your first year pitching in the Gulf League. You pitched 52 innings and you allowed 1 run, an ERA of 0.17. So I ask this not facetiously. How were you so good?
I don't know. I don't know, Alex. Definitely, God was in the mix of it. Because when I signed me, think about this. When they signed me, I was throwing the highest 87 miles per hour fastball, average 85, 169 soaking wet. I would say maybe 165, and 20 years old. If you have a frame of man like that, statistics that I'm just giving you, and that man will come to any tryout, you know what this guy will tell him? Hey, just go back and do whatever you were doing before you came here.
Right. Maybe try soccer.
Exactly. Try something else, but not baseball. But I got the shot.
But I just want to say it one more time. Like, what were you doing that made you so? Because you just laid out something. And by the way, your famous pitch, the cutter, didn't come until later, right?
They come to 97.
So how were you getting all of these guys out?
It was, again, it was just God just giving me opportunity to do my thing. It's just, I'm telling you, it was like, and I didn't know how to pitch. I didn't know. So I was learning while I was going through my minor league
What
season.
were you telling your parents and your siblings back in Panama? Were they like following along with you?
They were following whatever I was telling them, but they didn't follow nothing at all. It was there nothing to follow. It was just me being there and telling them, hey, I did this, I did that. And my last game, I threw a no-hitter. They gave me $500. Are you kidding me? $500 and a wash.
All right, let's fast forward a little bit now to your first game in the major leagues. Do you remember this?
I remember it got beat up, yes.
Okay, because I mentioned
why you have to bring all that up?
At the time, Mariano was a starter. You were a starting pitcher.
Yeah, I come up as a starter.
And so, did you want to be a starter?
I didn't care what I was doing as long as I stay in the big leagues.
Okay.
I didn't care, Alex. I was fine.
So, at the time you're growing up, you're from Panama. You speak almost no English.
Zero English.
Zero.
I don't speak English now. Forget about back then. Shoot. I was. As a matter of fact, guys, this is serious because you guys laughing now. I wasn't laughing. I was crying. Because
I can imagine it would be really frustrating to not understand what's going on.
People telling me all these things and I didn't know what they were saying. So my imagination, my translation was, okay, I think they said this. Okay, think about that. It was horrible. So to the point, I said, forget about more Spanish. No more Spanish. Only English. So thank God for McDonald's and Burger King's. Number one, it has this. Number two, it has this. So, number one.
So
that's it.
You're learning English. Like, how are you learning English? Are you buying translation books?
There's no time for that. I had to train. I had to do good. I had to think about what I was doing. Thank God for two teammates of mine. I was in North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, 1991. And one of the outfielders and the third baseman for the team, Bud Deller and Tim Cooper. I asked him, so guys, can you please teach me? I don't care how much you laugh. You can laugh till you die. But just correct me, please. And tell you what, though, they never laugh. They correct me. And at the end of that year, I was able to communicate to my teammates, to my manager, with my pitching
So
coach.
you just learned, it's just a lot of como se dice and,
Como se
learning
dice, yes, como se dice this.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And that's how I learned.
That's amazing. Okay.
But to me, it was, I'm telling you, it was a determination. I was determined to not to go back to Panama beat up. I wanted to give everything within my power to achieve whatever I need to achieve. Because I wanted to take the doubt that not because I didn't do. What if I would have done? What if didn't exist for me? I had to do or not. And I did.
So I mentioned that you didn't even throw the cutter. I read that this pitch was like a divine intervention. That one day
it wasn't like it was.
It was.
It was.
I mean, that sounds too fictitious. That sounds like out of a Disney movie. That one day in your second year, right? You just suddenly started throwing the same pitch that you threw, and suddenly the ball moved differently, and it never went away.
You make it sound like you make it sound real good and easy. To me, it's like I wish I have you as a coach because you would have you would have saved me a lot of headaches.
Well, you did pretty well without me, I'll say.
But it would have been much better. That's because 97 we just won the championship. I just become the New York Yankee closer. Okay, and I was trying to do so good that it looks like I was moving in quicksand. Everything that I was doing was going wrong. So, but God knew. He said, "You know what? I'm gonna give my son something special." And that's when he gave me the quarter. And this is legit. This is not something that I'm trying to come up. No one teach me that. No blood, no flesh. All right? Mel Stalomeyer, my pitching coach, was there. I remember we worked almost an hour, and now we're getting into the heat. He's telling me, "Oh, you're doing something wrong." I said, "Mel, you're going to tell me that since I've been 6 years that I remember playing baseball to this point, I don't know what I'm doing? So that's why you're telling me? We just won the championship last year, and you're telling me that I don't know what I was doing? So can you explain that to me?" I told him, I said, "Okay, grab the ball like this." "Okay. What you want me to do with this?" "Throw it like this." I did. And the ball moved even farther, more. So now he's frustrated with me. I said, "Man, let's leave it like this because if this is something good, no one's going to stop that." And I was right.
What was your relationship like with George Steinbrenner?
The best.
Is there a particular Steinbrenner story you can share with us?
Many stories.
Quickly?
I'm going to give you one. Let's see. 2020. 2000. World Series. 2000, okay? The Mets. Subway Series. We playing in Yankee Stadium. He comes and says, "Kid." He always called me Kid. He never called me Mariano or Mo. He always called me Kid. "Hey, Kid, what do you think? Are we going to win?" "What do you want me to tell you?" "Okay, no, boss, we're going to lose." So I said, "Boss, we're going to win. Okay, let's do a bet." "Oh, no." He says, "Do you want a hot dog or hamburger?" I said, "No, but I got a pitch. I don't need none of that stuff. I'm okay." He went and then he come back. Are you ready to pitch? Yes, boss, I'm ready. Didn't you see me? I'm ready. But I'm going to do a bet with you. If we win, that we will, you got to take me back home to Panama with my whole family in your plane. And if we lose, that we ain't going to lose, I take you to dinner anywhere that you want. Anywhere in the world that you want to, I will take. He said, "Let's do that." Well, the bet was done. So right after we won the next day, I received a call from Mr. George Steinbrenner. He says, "Mo, I'm ready to take you to Panama." But my wife doesn't like to travel in those little planes. So I said, "Boss, I appreciate you, but my wife doesn't." So, okay. All of a sudden, he's saying first class ticket for the whole family back home. If I have to do it over, I had to do it for him. And I don't want nobody else but him because he really cared about us and he cared about the organization. And most important, he cared about the fans. So that was a man that was making a lot of money, but investing a lot of money back into the team. And that's why I was so proud of him.
You're synonymous now with the Metallica song "Enter Sandman."
You know what? That point too, I should have built these guys. You know, I should have
exactly.
built them.
So here's my question to you: when you're in the car alone, are you ever putting that on, or are you sick of the song?
Wrong question. Wrong question. I only did listen that song on the stadium because they play it. But that will be the last song that I will play.
Really? You're telling me you don't get pumped up by listening to the first few notes of that song?
The song didn't pitch for me. The song didn't do nothing for me. It did for you guys, for the fans, but not for me. I had to pitch. So the song he can't do it for me. So that would be the last song that I would play. As a Christian, I would play something else but that. And I told them too. I said, don't ask questions because you might don't like the answer.
Right.
So, and they asked the question.
They were not willing to play a nice Christian rock song?
No, they didn't want to.
Yeah.
I tell you what, they were good guys.
Yeah.
They were great guys, man. They come to my last game. They came and played live at Yankee Stadium. So when I came out, when they present me, they were playing live at Yankee Stadium. So I respect the guys.
Your final year in the majors, your ERA was 2.11. How much longer could you have played?
No more longer, because I didn't have nothing else. I mean, I used every ounce of gasoline that I have in my tank. It was no drop of gas the moment that I left. You know, I wanted to do, someone asked me that question before. I did everything that I wanted to do in baseball within my power to enjoy, love, support, and doing it right, respecting. I did everything. So if you ask me if I miss it, no, I don't.
Do you feel that you have a responsibility to now connect back with young athletes in Panama?
I always have the responsibility, and I always will be ambassador of the game, regardless. Panama, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Cuba, anywhere. Because I mean, as a Latino, I'm proud that I did whatever I did in baseball. You know, because I didn't only represent Panama, I represent all Latino countries, you know, and I was proud of that. So yes, I have a mission, I have a responsibility to advise these youngsters that they are coming up and the ones they want to play the game. But with that, I also tell them, because I tell my kids that are here, you know, that before that is education. You know, if you thinking that you're gonna play game and not educate yourself, you're wrong. Not in this house. You know, so that's how important education is to me.
You have an interesting post-career business venture plan. The first thing you did, as far as I understand, is a car dealership. And then today you're going to make a new announcement with these things that are sitting in front of us with hot sauce. Why cars and why hot sauce?
Well, I mean, cars, because I wanted to be a auto mechanic before I become baseball player. So, I mean, that's the passion that I have for cars. And my kids don't ever allow me to forget cars. You know, they're always pushing me to get this, buy this, do this. Look at this, look at this. They send me text. Okay, look at this car, pa. What do you think about it? The oldest is here. Is like, okay, buy this, get this. I said, no, I don't need those things. Get an opportunity, a friend of mine, to buy a dealership. So, you know what, why not? You know? And was one of the best decisions that I made. You know, we're doing good with that. But then this happened. But this is something special, because my partner, Eduardo Arango, which is here, you know, co-founder, CEO and co-founder of Mo's his family and friends, he approached me first once and brought me the idea. And I said, you know what, it's good, but we just leave it like that. We left it out. Then this year, in January, if I'm not mistaken, January 2nd, I was passing New Year's Eve back home in Panama with the rest of the family. He comes and approached me with something different. That this time, it really caught my attention. I said, you know what? I like this. Call my agent. Right away. And you're talking about January 2nd. Okay, we are May 1st today. How many months is that? 4 months? From that moment to this, that's how much and how big I think about this. And I wanted to tell you, but you spoiled the whole thing. You're spoiling everything because, I mean, I wanted to tell myself to these folks here, lovely folks, about my project.
I'll give you a chance.
You're giving me a chance?
You can do it still.
Thank you, Alex.
Here, let me close with this, and then if you want to take the rest of your time to pitch your wares, you can. 5-time World Series winner, 13-time All-Star. Is there one moment in your career that stands out above all of the other ones?
One moment of my career, perhaps, I would say, Alex, that it wasn't a moment of my career. I have great moments, hard moments of my career. You know, if I can name one, the last one where Derek and Andy took me out of the game. I mean, that's still
Derek Jeter and Andy Pettit.
That's still a moment that I can even see that moment. I haven't seen it again.
You've never gone back and rewatched that?
I haven't because that's how impactful it was for me. You know what I mean? It was special, okay? But it wasn't that either, okay? For me, it was just the opportunity that I have for 19 years wearing the pinstripes. That was the moment. Every day as Latino, being the closer of a powerhouse as the Yankees are, that has no price. And I was there doing it for 17 years of 19 years of career, you know, and wearing that uniform day in and day out for 19 seasons, 19 years, to me, it was priceless. It wasn't no moment in the field that was greater than that, using the uniform and respecting the organization the way I did. That was the moment for me.
Do you still pitch at all?
No, I tried to play and I got hurt, you know. Now I got to pitch. Next time I'm going to pitch. But no, I don't pitch.
I'm sure
unless you want to hit.
I'm just saying, maybe you should try it in some mystery pitch.
Let's do it if you want
out of there and suddenly.
But if you want to do it, I only do it if you want to do it. Alex.
Yeah, if you're going to pitch against me and embarrass me, or maybe. Mariano Rivera, thank you for joining us. A pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.